Good morning. This is Tomorrow on Track. In today's podcast, we have not only someone that I know, but I think a brand that we all know. I think a lot of us know them better by the blue furry monster, none other than Mummy Monster. So today, gladly introduce Felix here with us today, Felix Pang, who is the Executive Director of Mamee-Double Decker. And he is also the third generation family business, third generation who is basically taking the helm together with your siblings in this journey. So maybe Felix, maybe just to start off, maybe just share with us and also our listeners, maybe some fond childhood memories of you growing up, with Mamee-Double Decker.
Thanks, Dennadict, and thanks, PwC, for the invite. Pleasure to be here. So in terms of fond memories of what we have during childhood, I would say I think a lot of fond memories was when my dad actually sort of tried to, as much as possible during the early days, try to get us involved in the business. So I think, to be fair, back then I don't think so we quite understand the scale of the business as well, right? We're all just young, and then we just know that our parents just manufacture some snacks and everything. So the fond memory that we have is pretty much sometimes we do get a chance to go to the factory, to the office, to see for example how what my dad's been doing, and the occasional chance also when my dad brought us to the manufacturing line to see how the noodles were being made. So those were just a very interesting thing to get us grow together with the business. So I think because of that, then we naturally grew, fell in love with the business as well. So that's why me and my siblings, when we get a call to come back to work, I know sometimes we term it national service, to come back and serve the nation, or in this case serve the family business. We without second thought, we just accept it. And of course, another key childhood memory definitely is able to consume the snacks lah. Contrary to many people thinking that maybe perhaps this is snacks, and perhaps our own parents restrict us from consuming. Actually, in fact, it's quite the opposite, right? In the sense that my parents have never actually restrict us from consuming any of this, because I think my grandfather has a very important sort of like a motto in life, whereby whatever that Mummy produces, right, he wants to make sure that the product is of high quality, that he would not have any hesitant to let any of the family members consume the products, so that he knew that he produced a product that is that is also that he's comfortable enough that his family is able to consume as such as well. So that's why in life we never had any restrictions to consume our products, and in fact we do consume quite a fair bit of our own products.
Oh, thanks, Felix. I think it's a good segue now to maybe get you to sort of introduce. A lot of us know Mummy as the little snack pack, Mummy. But I think there's more to it, right? Maybe if you can just share with us some of the journey on that.
Yeah. So I think to start off with, basically, Mamee is, as of today, is about a 54-year-old company lah. And over the years, Mamee has grown and changed tremendously across the years. I think and many people definitely know Mamee as our very famous Mamee Monster snack. But from the very start of the company, actually, in fact, right, the first product ever launched by Mamee back in 1971 was actually instant noodles. And in fact, the very first brand name that we had was not called Mamee. It was called, called a name called Lucky, which back then I believe, a lot of older generations think that, if you call yourself Lucky, you might be lucky. But unfortunately, business was not so lucky at that time. So during the first year, the business was going through a tremendous challenge, selling instant noodles. Business was not doing so well. But the real turning point for the whole business was actually the Mamee Monster snack that we produced. And how that product really came about was that actually back then, my dad had an opportunity to sell some of the noodles to the estate workers. And what he realized from the estate workers is because I think for the lack of cooking equipment, and they're not able to cook the noodles, instant noodles in while they're working. Also, what they did was they just opened the pack and consumed the noodles straight away, because the noodles are already somewhat already cooked already. So that gives what we call a consumer insight to my dad to come up with. Why not we come up with a product that's ready to eat, that by the moment you open the product, is already, you can consume it and you can eat it straight away. So then they started to release the product, which is of what we know today, the noodle snack, Mamee Monster snack, and then that really changed it was a turning point of the company lah, let's say, and they also took the opportunity to change the name from Lucky to Mamee. Many people also ask why Mamee. So there's two main reasons that I also learned along the way. First of all, again, Mamee is very synonymous with almost everybody in the world, right? Because as a child, as a baby, one of the first few words that you will mention is Mamee or Mama, right? So that is something that is very easy to remember. And secondly, also coming from our heritage of Hainanese background. When my dad was younger, when we say the Hainanese term called Mamee, it's actually like add noodles, like something like jia mian. So it was very synonymous with his childhood as well. So these two reasons was the reason why they chose the term Mamee. And then the rest, the rest is history, I would say, whereby the company managed to turn around, being successful, and over the years, from a noodles player, we actually venture into more snack products. The next big brand that we had actually was Mr. Potato, our potato-based snacks, which I think also to some extent, sometimes people thought that Mr. Potato is from a foreign brand, but actually it's a locally grown brand from Mamee. So Mr. Potato is one of the big brands, and other one perhaps like some people will know is like Double Decker, Contours. And as I mentioned, as a company changed a lot already. While we are very popularly known by our noodle snack, Mamee Monster snack, but in fact the largest contributor to the group right now is actually our potato based snacks, which is a Mr. Potato brand. So that is now the largest contributor to the group.
Right. I mean, I can see why you mentioned that people perceive Mr. Potato as a foreign brand, maybe because also of the logo and
it's
things like
Mexican,
that.
like a Mexican
yes,
mascot,
exactly.
right?
So I mean, it's interesting, right? Moving from snacks, from instant noodle, and now you have a array of a lot of other products, right? Maybe just speaking of product, and maybe just to put you on the spot, right, Felix? I mean, society now is getting a bit more, I would say not a bit more, but getting very much health conscious. So how is Mamee and how are you and the family or even your team addressing that so-called that issue?
Yeah. I think it's always been a very good question and constantly being asked by many people lah, because everybody now we are coming to a stage whereby everybody is a lot more health conscious. While for us, we are also we also recognize the fact that people are demanding for more healthy products. But we need to also understand the situation in the market. In the sense that these days, while people want to consume healthier snacks, but yet healthier snacks also come with a cost and a price as well. So what we've seen and what we learned along the way is that for the Western markets like the US and the European, there's no doubt there's strong demands for basically healthy segment. They're a lot more mature in that sense, that kind of healthy segment. So that's why Mamee over the years, while we're trying to be more proactive in the sense that in recent times we also try to invest in brands in those markets in the US. For example, in the US, in recent times, we invested in two healthier brand for. One is for snack. So we invested in a healthier based snacks, better for you snacks. And the other brand that we invested in is the healthier instant noodles. So both instant noodles and snacks are both very synonymous with Mamee. But because we also want to take the opportunity to learn from them and how they do things, and that's why we invested in them. But at the same time, also we also took the opportunity to manufacture for them as well. So we are proud to say that Mamee also do have their own healthier range of snacks and noodles, but those will cater more to the Western market.
Right.
Now, if we zoom in back to our Southeast Asia market in particular, or more particularly Malaysia, right? Yes, I know that there are growing market that's demanding for healthier snacks, but unfortunately for now, the market is still relatively small. And I think we'd like to believe also Malaysian consumers are generally also, I would say, also well educated in the sense that I think because coming from our Malaysian roots, right, we always love to have very strong flavored products, food, right?
Yeah.
And in these days is we find a challenge to find strong tasting product and healthier. And a lot of times people are not willing to give up the taste because our food is so rich in taste. And people, when they want to indulge in snacks, they want to indulge in the best of flavors because they know that this is like some sort of like a reward to themselves, indulgence. Why reward yourself in a half tasty, half healthy, you're not here, not there. We like to believe that Malaysian consumers are very educated in the sense that, okay, if they want a snack and they want to indulge in something less less healthy, they go for the full flavor. But when they want something healthy, they go for their salads and then they eat something healthier in their regular meal. So that's why up to today, right, we haven't seen that shift in consumer preference towards healthier. I think maybe perhaps the day when finally we can find the right balance in terms of better for you plus a very relatively affordable price range, then the healthier segments can grow. But for now, we still see a strong disparity between the price point of healthier snacks and cheap, cheaper snacks and affordable lah.
Right. So hopefully we can see that in the supermarket aisles in Malaysia.
Yeah, hopefully
fairly soon.
that's why we have to. I mean, this is consumer preference change very quickly, so we have to be ready. But at least when the market finally shifts to a more healthier segment, then at least we know we have the products ready to serve that market as well.
So it almost seems like it takes a whole army to really think. You need to have a think tank. You need the people. You need to have a team on the ground, and you need a team to manage the people internally as well. I mean, to me, I feel like it all starts from internal, right?
Yep.
And the fundamental and the principle of the business, right? So I mean, in that sense, like even like yourself, as you go into the family business, it's not immediate, like you rightly pointed out just now, right? It's you. I think your Tan Sri, your dad, has had to pretty much get you to work somewhere else first, right? Before you come in. So I mean, just on that, just on that note, like in terms of family business versus generation business, I mean, what is your view, given that now you are already in the business itself, right? So what are your views in the definition of a generation business versus a family business itself?
Yeah, so as you pointed out, right, like my dad, Tan Sri himself, has a rule whereby all of us family members who would like to work in a business, right, will be required to have to work outside for a minimum of like 3 years before coming back in. This is very important because, like, I think first of all, I think my dad doesn't want to be seen as us being parachuted into the organization without any prior knowledge of experience, right? And then there's nothing. When we come in, there's no value add that we give to the organization. But when we work outside, right, we expose ourselves to all the different kind of industries and networking with so many people. And by the time we are ready to come back to the organization, we can at least value add to the company. Like, for example, myself, I worked in HSBC Bank for 5 years, and that has given me tremendous amount of experience, knowledge, and most importantly, also the networking that I have. And by the time when I finally went back to do the national service, as I mentioned, right, I'm at least able to come back confidently to give some value add rather than coming in like a blank piece of paper and not knowing what to contribute to the organization. And the next thing, I think critical thing is that we need to view our business in the sense that, like, there's a key distinction between a family-owned business as well as a family-run business. And where Mamee has progressed over the years is that we have trying to corporatize the whole business to make it more corporate and more professionally run.
Right.
A lot of family business, I guess, maybe from what we've seen across is that it is family owned and also family run. What we mean by family run is that a lot of key critical positions, all the C-suites are held by family members. I think to some extent, I would say that sometimes it works and sometimes it may not work. But for Mamee, what we're trying to find the right balance between family as well as professional. So we would like to believe that Mamee is more of a family-owned business, but being run professionally. In the sense that, like myself, I'm executive director. My brother Pierre, he's the CEO of entire group, and then then he is being supported by myself as well as my other cousin, who is also the executive director that oversees all the manufacturing side. And I mostly oversee all the group support functions, which is the finance, HR, procurement, and those. And the next level below us are all our C-suite, which we hire professionals. The key thing of hiring professionals, because over the years we needed to transform the business, and we cannot transform within because we needed external help and these professionals to come in to transform the business. That's why we ensure that all our C-suites are hired professionally, so that we can take the organization to the next level. That I think that's what we find is very important.
So I think the other thing, like you rightly mentioned, also building a team is obviously not easy, right? Human
Yeah.
capital, right?
Yeah.
So I'm quite sure there's always ups and downs
Mm-hmm.
in even transforming. How do you? I mean, even transforming like you mentioned,
Mm.
from a family run to a family owned, right?
Mm-hmm.
Having to hire professionals and whatnot.
Mm.
So sometimes with patriarchs and with
Mm-hmm.
uncles that has been in the business
Yeah.
for many years, right? That stigma of the having in control. How
Mm-hmm.
did your generation, who is basically now the generation that has already taken over, how do you influence your patriarch and even Tan Sri, right? At that
Mm.
spur of the moment, how do you influence Tan Sri that I think we need to change, right? In this sense.
Yeah, I think first of all, also I have to give credit to the patriarchs, which is my dad as a chairman himself, and also my uncle Dato Sri, he is the vice chairman as well. I think both of them has I think are ever so willing to let the third generation to run the business and
Mm,
allowing us the basically the room I think the key thing was to empower us lah to make critical decisions as well.
mm,
They will play the role of, like, when it comes to major strategic decisions, they will come in to weigh their opinion and to give their blessings for those critical decisions. But other than that, I think they pretty much has given us a lot of like a trust in us to make all those decisions and run the day to day. But at the same time, also it works both ways lah, that we also have to display our own competencies as well as our own skills to give them the confidence that they can slowly let us take over the day to day. So it will be both ways, in the sense that we also have to prove to them lah.
mm,
And also how we do that also is whereby we also then we also can't do it alone, because we running organization also is not just by individuals, it's actually by collective team.
mm,
And hence that's why we focus a lot of the human capital aspects, whereby it's very critical that we hire the right talent into an organization.
mm,
And a lot of times when we say the right talent, is that what we mean by right talent is that, yes, there are many high skilled talents out there, but not every talent may potentially fit into your organization.
mm,
So you need to find the talent, in the sense that, of course, you need to find the right skill set first. And then
mm,
on top of that, you need to find whether that talent can fit into your organizational culture.
mm,
So that's why it's very critical now that how our human capital team has, I think, progressed over the years. Last time, just only about 4-5 years ago, we call our human capital team was HR, which is typically of any organization. But we have rebranded into human capital because this is critically important, that now we are looking more into human capital rather than just human resource.
right.
So that's why when we hire any talent, we look into, yes, of course, we look into their skill sets and knowledge and experience, no doubt, but we also evaluate their how fit they are into the organizational
Mm,
culture.
mm,
Because a very can you can hire a very good talent, but if the talent does not fit into the culture organization, the talent will not flourish in the
correct.
organization. In fact, the talent will end up being hindered by the organization culture and red tapes and whatnot.
Yeah.
So that's why we feel that we need to find the right fit of talent, not
Mm,
just very talented, but also personality wise needs to also fit into an organization.
yeah. I mean, like you rightly pointed out, because I can see, from a lot of family
Mm,
businesses, a lot of the time is yeah, even if they want to hire professionals, but if the culture don't allow the
mm,
empowerment and the
mm,
autonomy, right, of really saying what is right for the business.
yeah,
I think
yeah,
business comes first, right?
yeah,
Then you will run into a lot of
mm,
roadblocks, right?
yeah,
So I'm sure in Mamee itself, as you transform the
mm,
business to a pretty much to hire professionals to come in
mm, mm, mm,
to at least try to navigate ways for at least the business itself.
yeah,
Surely there will be challenges as well, right?
yeah,
How do you empower these professionals,
mm,
and also at the same time, how do you manage? I think first and foremost, your expectation together, your brother, the family's
mm, mm, mm,
expectation of
mm,
them, and how do you make sure that you maintain so-called composure, right?
mm,
That hey,
mm,
let them sort of drive certain strategy, right?
mm,
Let them drive certain strategy in terms of for example,
mm,
like you mentioned, the new healthy snacks,
yeah,
right? Things like that. So how do you balance
mm,
that part of
yeah.
things?
I think that's a good question also, in the sense that, like, first of all, talking about culture, um, as you know, the saying says, right, culture eats strategy for breakfast. So in order for an organization to really grow further, right, is that we always feel that we need to set the right foundation. What we mean, right, the foundation is, of course, you have your organizational structures, your processes and controls
Yep.
and whatnot.
Yep.
But the core of it, right, to have a really strong foundation, again, is going back to talent. Talent will be very critical in terms of forming the organization's whole foundation, backbone, as well as future growth for success. So if you want to grow big, you need to grow sustainably, right? And in order to grow sustainably, you need to have the right team that is able, the right foundation to be able to build on that success.
Correct.
If you grow too fast and too unsustainable, you don't have the right foundation, the things will crumble and everything just falls apart. Then how do we find a balance between, hiring hiring high skilled talents, and then balancing between the needs of the organization as well as the family expectation? Is that I think is communication also is very, very important. I think first thing first is that with this high skilled talent, we need to definitely give them empowerment and trust in their decision making. Because if you're going to hire someone that's only just going to be taking instructions and everything, then there's no need to hire high skill, right?
Correct.
You're just going to be limiting their potential.
Correct.
So first thing first is that we need to empower our talents to
Right.
make the decisions. And then I think the next thing is communication. So myself and my brother and my cousin, three of us, we played the role of being the mediating between the professional run C-suites as well as our families' families' expectations for the business. I mean, thankfully, I think we have very clear goal across all, in the sense that we want to grow the business. We want to be right now, Mamee is proud to say that we are the largest snack manufacturer in Malaysia. Next thing is that the goal, of course, we want to be regional, and also we want to be a global snacks player as well. So that has been very clear communication coming from the family through us and then through to our C-suites. So with that clear goal in place already, then at least we know that our C-suites have clear vision and goal that how to achieve that. And we also give them the empowerment of, like, suggesting to us, okay, now that we know what is the end goal, the vision, the mission and the vision, right? So now how do we chart out that process to achieve that goal? And that is where we let them come with their proposals, and because they have tons of experience and knowledge, right?
Right.
So we want to utilize those. We want to utilize, because a lot of them comes from, for example, MNCs.
Correct.
We want to utilize all their skill set, their knowledge, to tell us, what would be the best way to get to our endpoint. So with this kind of two-way communications and have a debating and frank conversations in terms of how we progress to that goal, right? I think that's a very healthy kind of environment. I think the key thing is empowerment and clear communication between each other.
And Felix, you've been in the business, the family business, and in Mamee through various milestones, I should say. So what maybe just a quick what are those few things that since you've been through the family business, been through that milestones, surely there is something that is resonate very strongly in yourself.
I think the first thing that thought on my mind when I first came to the organization is all of a sudden, I suddenly start to need to lead a team, for example, or need to start managing, I would say, people in this sense, because
Right.
back then when I was working in the HSBC bank, I wasn't managing any team, right? But now suddenly I've been going back to the family business and trust to lead a group of people, right? That has, of course, been the most challenging thing. I think that the key thing for I guess for people also, right, I think as they rise through their career, the way I see also is that I think managing people is one of the critical skill set to really acquire. Because I think once you reach to certain level of management levels, senior management level even, right, then the complexity starts is when you have to manage a bigger team, right? When you manage a bigger team, then actually they have more people, and every person is very different. So I remember the time where I just had to I did not have any experience, but I had to learn along the way. So I would say that my learning is just trying to is mainly to try to see what's the best way to manage a team, right?
Yeah.
And I think that the key learning I can share is that I would say is that is managing people is a skill set that I think people always often overlooked.
Yeah.
That is not something that is easy and straightforward.
It's not
Yeah.
it's not entirely easy, right? I mean,
No,
just give you
no,
an
yeah.
example, right? I mean,
Yeah.
surely when you join the family business,
Mm.
when you join Mamee,
Yep.
there are other colleagues of yours that has been
Yeah.
there for many years,
Yep.
right? I think the question is, how do you what is that or how do you actually manage that respect? Or rather, how do you
Yeah,
earn
yeah.
that respect? Everyone has their own way of
True,
doing it, right?
true,
Maybe what's
yeah.
yours?
Mine was always been leadership by example.
Okay.
Because I first come in the organization, Mamee has been around. I came in and at the start, I feel like as though I'm being parachuted. But how do I
Correct.
gain a respect for my fellow peers and colleagues? Right,
Right.
is that I need to lead by example in a sense that I need to first of all I need to bring all the experience I learned from the bank into the organization. So because I'm familiar with all the banking things and everything, then I able to bring value by advising the finance team. What are the banking things that we should look out for. In that sense. And then a lot of things, leadership by example is in the sense rather than just giving instructions, but I try to do most of the thing by myself as well. So I just try to be, doing things and show to them that I'll be able to achieve those things as well. So I strongly believe in leadership by example. Just
Right.
try to aspire to show them that I'm here to together with them that,
Right.
if things needs to be done in certain ways, I need to show them the ropes as well. So I strongly believe in leadership by example.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of insight that you shared, and thanks. But maybe just a quick final one before we end the show is, I guess with so many things that's going on, right? There's a lot of moving pieces that that you guys are trying to achieve and trying to hit to. Maybe just what is that one action that you're doing for Mamee to be on track for tomorrow?
I think that would be, I would say, circling back again to my strong belief in terms of back to talent. I feel that, and even also the past few years that I worked with Mamee, I've seen how the right talent coming into Mamee is able to transform the whole business. So I feel that what I want to do for Mamee in the coming years is definitely to help the various departments to place the right talent in those departments, so that whenever the right talent is there, we constantly transform ourselves, because the market these days is very challenging. So many competitions out there, so many macroeconomic factors like the tariff issues that's affecting all of us, right? And how do we build ourselves to be more resilient towards all these changes, while we can continue launching new products, good marketing strategy and everything, but having the right people in place, right, when you are naturally able to resolve those issues naturally. But if you don't have the right talent in place, right, then all those issues becomes a lot more challenging to face. So I think that's what I feel that in the coming years is also, first of all, is to really continuously find the right talent, continuously have that transformation in an organization. And I think lastly, I guess in terms of I think for maybe if to more aspiring managers, mid managers and everything, as I mentioned earlier, managing people is important. But I think another thing that people always talk about IQ level, like to find talent, but I think that very important these days, I think, is the EQ, emotional intelligence.
Cannot agree more.
I think that one is also very critical in terms of for young aspiring people to be a managers or senior manager. Maintaining EQ, that is very important, so that you can maintain that. I think that poise and posture, I would say, to manage people and to manage the challenging environment.
Very insightful. Thank you for your time, Felix. You have been listening to Felix Pang, Executive Director of Mamee, and also third generation of the family business. My name is Dennadict Chang, and this has been Tomorrow on Track. Thank you.